Welcome to Discover Your Mind Part 2. We're going to go a little bit deeper into the mind and understand it through an ancient perspective lens. So the belief of the mind is that it's a trilogy between the mother and the father and the child. So this creates your internal world. Now this trilogy is in a lot of religions, a lot of cultures. So we can think about it like a triangle. You have masculine and feminine and a child. This then creates your internal world. This is the Hujupacha. Now your internal world is also known as ego. So the ego or the mind will want to be anywhere but here. So the mind can live in the past and it can live in the future, but it will rarely live in the present. We don't want to demonize the ego because we all have one. We need our ego and we need to be connected with it. We can use our ego to create what we want to rather than be a product of its fears and insecurities. So you can think of the mind as also having a conscious. So the consciousness is what you perceive. And this is where the mind lives. So this is the power, this is where everything tends to be, the mind's in charge. This is your ego, you're confident, and you have this belief that you have control. We don't really have a lot of control because a lot of what our perceived control is coming from our unconscious mind. So our unconscious mind is something like 30,000 times more powerful than our conscious mind. So there's so much more going on, and there's this perceived illusion of control of your mind, but realistically this is the stuff that we're going to try and change to create who you really are. Now when you go through the unconscious mind, you have the animalistic mind. So the animal mind is that sense of peace and presence. So it's that state that animals live in. It's a very powerful, deep place where you're very well connected. Now it's very difficult to remain here, so I believe this is where a lot of spiritual teachers like Eckhart Tolle live, and a lot of Taoists and Buddhist monk are striving for this deep-seated position where you're at total harmony with your mind. Very difficult to attain this, and if you're always trying to get here, you're going to be unhappy because you're going to be living elsewhere. So we don't always need to be here. We can be planning, we can be calling ourselves back from the past, but we can use our ego and use our mind to create something that's interconnected and working for us rather than against us. Now, this symbol for the mind is a serpent, and I'll tell you why. The mind is endless. There is no end to it. It will constantly move, constantly go, go, go. Once you try and resolve problems with your mind, you're going to have more problems. So you resolve one problem, you're going to have two more problems right there. You resolve those problems, there's going to be three more. So there's always problems, problems, problems. The temple of the mind is called Woman in Peru. It's the head of Cusco, and it's this big labyrinth. There's tunnels everywhere, thousands of tunnels, and it's there to reflect to you that the mind is endless. You're never going to explore the depths of your mind, and trying to is going to be disastrous, because as soon as you're trying to explore the depths of yourself, you're losing the connection with the present moment. So we can use our mind to create what we want, but we have to be able to call ourselves back. The mind and taming the mind is a challenging but very rewarding experience, and I think the piece to this teaching is that we're not trying to demonize the ego, we're trying to connect with it. So we're trying to use the ego to create our life rather than try and resist it. So I look forward to the next teaching. We're going to move a little bit deeper into learning about the body and the interconnectedness of the mind and the body, And sometimes the mind is thought to be our brain, but it's much more complex than that. So I'll catch you on the next teaching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would encourage you to reflect and do a little meditation on trying some mindfulness and understanding that you can't run away with the mind.